we'll see what sets up here. Like I said, the main reason I'm looking at these three names is because these are the only three names that's all sitting above, as you can see, their previous day high. It's all sitting above. And then Amazon and Palantir are trending to the downside. So that's something to keep an eye out for. So we'll see what sets up here. 205. Yeah, see, we broke this 205. You can see we're trending lower here on Amazon. We broke this 205. We still need to retest that. And like I said, this would just be, as you can see, a lower low forming here for continuation lower. So that looks really good. We'll just see what sets up here. And then, of course, we'll see what QQQ wants to do. Yeah, Q just looks pretty terrible right now. Cool. Got about 2 minutes here until the market opens. Let's see here. Right now, NVIDIA is really showing some relative strength on everything else, compared to everything else. And then Amazon's already pulling back to this previous day high. And then, of course, guys, I will be looking at the Friday expiration, just because today are 0 DTEs. About 1 minute here till market opens. Take 30 seconds here. Okay, let's see what sets up. Hmm. Fine Q's pulling back right off the bat. Amazon showing a little bit of relative strength. Like I said, I do expect some pullbacks on a lot of these names. Why? Because they're filling the gap. These are all gap fills right now in these pullbacks. Amazon 3. Pretty volatile open right now. A lot of big wicks, a lot of big candles. I'm looking at Tesla on the 15-minute too. So Tesla starts to look really strong. I'll switch from Palantir to Tesla, looking for that pop and fade off of 415.40 or a break and retest over that. Well, let's see what sets up on Tesla. We can get under 134. 35 here on Palantir. That looks solid. Spine Q's pulling back right now, so I'm looking at Palantir and NVIDIA here. Palantir and NVIDIA. You got an instant retest off the previous day high here on Amazon. Not a deep enough pullback here on Palantir, and then really just waiting to see what NVIDIA wants to do. So if NVIDIA does set up, I'll be looking at the 20th expiration, 190 calls on NVIDIA if that sets up. I'm not going to fight this market though. I'm looking at Palantir too. Palantir's at like a perfect spot. If it falls under 134.35, I do like puts on this. All right, look at Palantir. It's like a perfect spot, like right on the dot. Just 134.35, a key level and the previous day high. So still got to fill this gap. Previous day close was like 133.06. So if we fall under this, looks good. And like I said, right, we are trending to the downside here on this name. Not gonna marry a bias though. Whatever Q's wants to do is what I'm looking for. But if Q's wants to stay heavy, I am looking at Amazon, but since it's a previous day high, I need price to tap back into this or get some type of deeper pullback. Nothing on Tesla, nothing on AMD. Looking at that on my right hand side. Amazon so far really has the cleanest price action out of these two. Yeah, rejection there. Yeah, you can see market's starting to get a little heavy, just a little bit. Amazon filled this gap pretty. Let me see, did it? Yeah, Amazon doesn't have, it has a little gap, but not that big of a gap. I'm hoping Amazon can push into this 205.30. That's really what I'm looking for here. We still need to retest this level on the daily. I'm looking for a pop and fade off of that, especially if this market wants to stay heavy. If Q's is pulling back, I'm not looking to go long here on the video. It's a previous day high. It's not a higher time frame key level. And it's not even showing me divergence. As you can see, Q's is pulling back and everybody is pulling back. Very strong open here on Amazon, though. Has a relative strength compared to the market. Palantir sitting sideways. We're just in a tricky spot in the market. Right, nothing on Tesla, nothing on Apple. Big push here on the market. Definitely looking at Amazon, guys. Either Amazon is going to give us a pop and fade off of 205.30 or a break and retest above it, one or the other. What I would like to see on Amazon is a push up into this 205.30 and then some wicks start to form and then see some heavy selling pressure. Qs is like all over the place right now. SPY and Qs actually. Amazon. To a 250 cost look good. Like I said, a lot of these names had a pretty big dollar range yesterday, so I wouldn't be surprised if we just have bad price action. Right now, I'm just focusing on Amazon. You can see, right, cleaner price action. NVIDIA, you do see wicks off this previous day high, but I would need a deeper pullback here. And then, Q's is pushing into this previous day high. So, so for Amazon guys, I would be looking at the 20th expiration, of course. As of right now, the 202.50 puts, but I know if we pull back deeper, that strike price is going to change. So I'm just being patient with that. I don't want Amazon to get heavy too quick. Maybe 136 and nowhere near that. Yeah, I'll definitely get a deep enough pullback here on NVIDIA. Like I said, we saw these wicks forming, but need a deeper pullback. We'll see what Palantir wants to do. Our key level is 138. We have to retest that. Strong pusher on the market. Hmm. He's rejecting this previous high or breaking through it is a big thing. We'll see. Palantir is very strong on the 15 minute. You can see a lot of these names are pushing with the market. Still looking at Palantir, looking at Amazon. I'm just not going to blindly go short with this market pushing. For Palantir, it would just be the 136 puts. I'm getting those ready. 136 puts. 136 puts on Amazon. I'm sorry, on Palantir. I'm reading this. So far, strong. See if we can get a peek and fill under this. Yeah, very strong here. SPY breaking through the previous day high. Like I said, I'm not going to blindly short anything here. You see, we never got a deep enough pullback here on Palantir to 134. If Juice gets to this previous day high, we could see 606.50. Yeah, Palantir's strong. Let's see if that could give us setup. Big rejection here on Amazon, just not a deep enough pullback. You can see Q's starting to reject this previous day high. Wick right off of it. That's that wick you saw on Amazon. Like I said, if Q's can get above this, we could see 606.50 here. Yeah, SPY rejected this previous day high as well on the dot. So we're very strong here on Palantir, right? Sent above the previous day high. Just didn't get a deep enough pullback here. Consolidated a little bit. You can see Palantir actually has some relative strength here. Really wanted a deeper pullback here on Amazon. It's 205.30. We'll see what sets up on Palantir. It still is in play. It could be a lower low forming, could be a peak and fail. So I'm not going to marry a bias, but as long as Q's is like under this previous day high, very hard to go long on some names here with both SPY and Q's rejecting the top of the range. Dude, the one thing I'm looking at on Palantir that I don't really like is the volume on these contracts. Spreads are tight, puts, but look at the volume. It's like 500. Let's see here. Amazon was really the one wanted. Big wick here on the 15 minute on Palantir. Like I said, with this market rejecting the previous day high, and then Palantir is bearish on the higher time frame. Well, you could look for a break and retest really off of this just due to relative strength, but that I'm not really with the higher time frame if I'm going long here. So, especially with this market pulling back, pretty much sideways on Nvidia. Yeah, nothing on Apple, nothing on Tesla, nothing on AMD. I'm kind of hoping this is like a little bit of a bull trap. Yeah, it's a big rejection there. Let's see. Palantir sets up, but I'll really be looking at the. I don't want to play it too far out of the money. Probably the 138s. We'll see if it sets up. The real trade for the longs are really down here on Palantir. It's really here. Previous day high, 134. Just didn't get that deep enough pullback. That was really the real opportunity to go long if we were looking for that. Should be opened up. Lower day is 134. Right now we're sitting at 139. It's a little extended. Key line in the sand here is just 685.80 on SPY. Like Q's is trying to hold up. Like I said, I believe if we can get over 603, we can definitely see 606. You can see that's a lot of strong resistance there. If I- Yeah, really nutting on some of these names. We had such a big day yesterday. I'm not too surprised. Let's see if Q's can hold this. It's got to be patient here. Market hasn't even been open for 30 minutes. If Amazon wants to get over 205.30, I don't mind it. We already bounced off the previous day high. This was a very aggressive entry, obviously, and we're moving higher. Right? If SPY and Q's wants to continue to the upside, I'm not going to short Amazon off this. It's not showing me any relative weakness. You can see it's in sync with the market. So this tank was the first rejection off the previous day high on Q. So okay. So SPY. So both SPY and Q's above the previous day high here, moving higher. SPY is trying to break out of this 685.80 weekly. Big push here. Like I said, we can see 606. Probably trying to reject 685. I don't feel like Amazon's that extended. Just a little bit, but see, we're starting to stall here on Palantir. So I'm kind of hoping we get exhausted up here and see something like that. This market's pushing, so I'm not too quick to short Amazon. If keys can fall back under this previous day high, I do like it. If it holds this, most likely not. I'm not going to short this with the market pushing, and I'm not really seeing any relative weakness on this name. So it actually looks like we're starting to trend. Yeah, big push here. Big push. So Amazon is a little weak compared to Q's. Not too weak for me to short this, but the key level here is 606. If we just see a dead smack here, I could see some rejections here. SPY's breaking through its weekly level. So I'm really just reading the market here. Big day on Palantir. If this was really the pullback long, I want it. 134. We never got that. You can see a lot of these names are pushing, but Amazon isn't. So I am reading this. Like I said, I'm not going to blindly just go short here. If I see the market pushing, I'm pretty much just hands off. See if we can get this candle close on Amazon and then another push into 205. It's being conservative here because this market is pushing. So if we can get a push into Amazon. I'm looking at the 205 puts on Amazon. The 205 puts. Reading cues here. Yeah, that might have been the rejection right there. It's gonna be patient, see if we can get another pop into this. I know I'm looking to short this. I'm just being cautious because SPY's reclaiming this weekly. It did reclaim this weekly. And Hughes is pushing it to the 606.50. This market's pushing for sure. Pushing strong, actually. Yeah, I knew this is what I wanted on Amazon. This is exactly what I wanted. Right. Just context matters. Everything's pushing with the market. I just did not like that. It is showing me some relative weakness, so let's see. This is really the key line in the sand here for Qs. Q's going to reject 606. Like I said, we get over previous day high, we can see 606 for sure. Since we already have a little bit of relative weakness, if we get slapped in the face on 606, I wouldn't be surprised. So you can see Palantir and NVIDIA moving with this, but Palantir is lagging behind just a little bit. Still looking at the 205 puts, Friday expiration on Amazon. See what happens here. Tesla's at the top of the range too. Tesla's a name that I would be open to long in. Yeah, very strong here on this market. So right now, Tesla actually looks good. It's over the previous day high, breaking through the high day V-shaped recovery. We can get displacement on Tesla. I like it. I do like Amazon, but this market's ripping right now. And you can see now Amazon's actually starting to form some higher highs and starting to trend. So I'm not going to marry a bias here. We were bearish on the higher time frame on Amazon, but the same starting to trend. Yeah, see, big breakout here. It's a good way to hold our water. Like I said, either we're going to smack this or not. So since this market's pushing, so is this. I'm not going to trade against the overall market. All right, if you zoom out on the 15, Tesla sitting above the previous day high, just broke to the high day. Big V-shaped recovery here on Tesla. Price action's cleaning up. Yeah, good skip here. Really good skip. Good way to just be patient here and read the market on Amazon. Yeah, so I'm looking at Tesla, guys. Tesla's like really the main one as well now. I would need a little bit more displacement here, but SPY and Qs are gone. They're no longer inside the range. They broke outside of their channel starting off this week. The weekly outlook was, hey, if Qs can get over 606, we can see some more upside here. So very strong open here. Each 15-minute candle has been straight upside. A lot of these names are following. NVIDIA nowhere near key level. Let's see the low day here on Tesla was 409. Yeah, Tesla's not too extended. Got to be patient. Just got to read this. As long as Qs is above this previous day high and above the 606, very different now. Main reason I'm looking at Tesla to upside compared to Amazon is because I know Tesla's not overextended right now. The low day on Tesla is 409. We're sitting at 415. So I know Tesla's not overextended. Could be a little exhausted here on Amazon, right? I don't expect Amazon to move on the underlying like Tesla. We'll see. This market is pulling back here. We got to hold 606. If we can give that up, we'll see. This is the retest here on Tesla. You know, we broke this. We still needed this retest. That's the previous day high. Especially, I'm just being very patient on these names because I'm not spotting any name that has relative strength or relative weakness compared to the market. Everything is moving with the market. So right now, this pullback you see on Tesla is just QQQ. You can see this wick pulling back as well. I have it pulled up here on the 5 minute too. So both SPY and Qs is pulling back right now. We'll see. Do we hold this or do we break back under? Right now in the 5 minute, Q's is pulling back, testing, or trying to retest here, the 606.50. So far it's holding. So yeah, you can see Amazon's trending higher, just stair stepping. And my main focus here is Tesla. It's Tesla. Tesla can start to trend. 415.40 is a very important level. It's right off the pre-market line, so just waiting to see what this wants to do. Yeah, this market's strong. Tesla's very bullish as well. Don't let this rejection fool you yet. We're sitting above the previous day high. V-shaped recovery, broke over the high day. So Tesla's very bullish on the intraday as well. You can see Amazon breaking retesting over 205.30. I know Amazon's pretty extended. I know how much that moves on a dollar amount, so I'm not too intrigued on long in that name. If we want to get a continuation play to the downside on Tesla, we could look for a break and retest back under this previous day high. We're waiting to see what Q's wants to do here. I'm looking at Q's on the smaller time frame. It's pretty much retesting. But if this sets up, that'd just be a lower low. I can now trade against this market. This market is very strong, and these names are following. Because this you see, this pullback you see, that's just Q's pulling back as well, even on the video. But Q's is retesting the 606.50. So either it's going to hold or it's going to give it up. If it gives this up, I think we can see a pullback to 603, and then I would be open to short in Tesla. Yeah, Q's retested this perfectly. Got a hammer stick candle on the 5 minute. This was a really good skip. Really just being patient, holding our water. This looked like a flush, and there was some relative weakness, but I knew not to really short against this overall market. This market's strong, and now you can see Amazon is starting to trend. Right, we did get that pullback off the previous day high, but that was the first candle. That's just way too aggressive. There's no way I'm taking that. Yeah, that was the retest. This thing's pushing. So let's see what Tesla wants to do. Just waiting for really a displacement candle over 415.40. You may be looking at the previous day high. That does not make sense to go long into a weekly resistance level that we are rejecting. So we're just starting to trend here. Just got to be a little patient. Let's see if we can get some displacement. So yeah, 415.40 is being respected on the dot here. Q's retested this very nice and held. Uh, I just saw your message here, Michael. Yeah, I agree. That's why I passed on it too. At this point, I'm really just reading the market on what I want to take. So that's why I skipped this trade. It wasn't even worth the risk. Tesla is rejecting this 415. Market is holding up. If Tesla can get under the previous day high, right, that's just playing the continuation back down. And that would be a lower low forming, right? So if we just reject that, that looks solid. But right now, this market's ripping. Let's see if we get above this. So you can see there's a little weakness here on Tesla compared to the market just ripping. But the only one that really gave us a setup, I would say it's Palantir, but Palantir just didn't give me a deep enough pullback here off this previous day high. This is like the real trade I was looking for. Palantir's the only one that's like really moving with the market, really moving with the market. Q's, you can see ripping. Like Amazon's exhausted. I'm not really worried about Amazon. I'm pretty much hands off there. Tesla is not extended. I know that much. So I'm just reading Tesla. Right now, we're definitely rejecting this key level here. This weekly 415. I wouldn't be surprised if we just sit in here. Nothing there. Not too many setups. Today was a rare one with Palantir. That's why I was on my close watch list. I think that was the first time I've had Palantir on a close watch. So good skip here on Amazon. Nvidia, nowhere near a key level. Like I said, I was actually looking for a pullback long here, but since it's a previous day high and not a key level in a higher time frame, I needed a deeper pullback here, right? The deeper the pullback, the tighter the risk. So I never got that. Right? We saw these wicks start to form, but just never got a deep enough pullback. So I wouldn't be surprised if like I just don't get anything today. I'm not gonna force it, but see what's hard about Tesla right now is Tesla looks beautiful in the 15 minute. I mean, look at that. Short or long off of 415.40. This is exactly what we want to see. All right, we're trending on the higher time frame to the downside. We're bearish on the higher time frame. Under 415.40, we're definitely bearish. So that's exactly what you want to see here. But it's the context of the market. That's the only thing. So I wouldn't mind. Like I said, this would definitely be a confirmation of a lower low, breaking and retesting back under the previous day high. We can already see an intraday double top at our key level. That's what you want to see. But the reason you see that Tesla's not really selling off is because this market is just very strong. SPY and Qs is very strong in the intraday today. Every pop you see, that's it's really Qs and SPY. So today's like really the a prime example of like context matters, right? You get some setups, the difference between missing a trade and skipping a trade, which is a great lesson here. And today, some things off our pre-market plan set up, but we skipped them, right? Just due to market context. I'm not going to, short against this overall market that's being strong. So we avoided some fake outs here on Amazon. Really nothing on Nvidia, nothing on Apple, nothing on AMD. Palantir was like the main one. I really wanted Palantir, but I just didn't get a deep enough pullback. So we'll see here on Tesla. Like I said, this is really the indicator that okay, cool. If we close back under the previous day high, sellers really took back over control. Because even though it looks the way it looks now, we're very bullish on the intraday. Very bullish, right? We had a V-shaped recovery. We're over the previous day high right now. There's no doubt. Our key level is doing its job, 415.40. It's just hard to, we can't really short this how we want just due to the market rallying right now. It is a very big day on Qs. Look at that. Like I said, we can see some more upside. We can see more upside if we hold. And that's what we're seeing pretty much across the board. It's a great example why you never marry a bias. Never marry a bias. And you can see there is relative weakness here on Tesla. I mean, this is Qs. Look at that. And this is Tesla. So there is relative weakness here. It's just Qs is holding this up. So I'm just trying to see how long until Qs feels a little overextended, a little exhausted, and we start to pull back. Right? That's what I'm really waiting to see. This would definitely be worth the shot for me. Getting back under the previous day high is a great confirmation. And like I said, that would be a lower low. We see an intraday double top here at our key level. That's what you want to see. So this would just be the continuation of that rejection. Tesla looks really good. That's literally what we want. I mean, we got the break yesterday. Like I said, we still needed the retest, and it's really what we want. That's what we're seeing right now. All right, guys, I am looking at Tesla. I'm looking at the 4/12/50 puts, Friday expiration. Keep in mind, right, we could hold this previous day high. I want to see a candle close under this. See if we can get a pop back into this. Finger is on the trigger. See if we can get some strong pressure, selling pressure here. See if we can reject here. Need some strong selling pressure. This market's pushing higher though. Q's is about to break the high today. All right, I'm short. Very tight stop loss. Very tight stop. Fingers on the trigger. Okay, let's see. Nice. Let's see. Nice flush here. So quarter there. So let's see what happens. We can get this flush, get some continuation on this. This looks good. By me still in a third of my position, I pretty much de-risk. So even if I get stopped out at my original stop, it's going to be break even or a very small loss. Like I said, like it was showing relative weakness, and this is like the lower low form in here. If we can get this, either it's going to get followed through or it's not. So happy with the de-risk there. This looks good. This looks pretty good. Right now, what I'm hoping for is like a high day rejection on the spine the keys. Yeah, that's a solid trade. That's a dot. It's a dot. It's a dot. See if we can get some more. Scaling on the way. It's a great trade. See if we can just stay heavy. Right now, this market is like rejecting the high day. See if we can stay heavy here. What a trade. Just super, super good patience here. Stop loss on the rest is above this. I'm just bar by bar on this now. Could expect a little bit of a low day bounce here. What a trade, guys. Just super good patience. Right now, the market is rejecting the high day. So let's see if we can stay heavy here. Stop loss on the rest is just 412.36. Man, what a trade. I want us to fall under 411.76, and then that could be my new stop here. Contract sitting at 14%, 15. Come on, Tesla. Come on. Give us the flush. Come on. This market's pulling back. Back if it's already relative weakness compared to the market. If this market can pull back a little aggressively, mm, my stop loss is just 412.36. Yeah, Qs and SPYs pulling back very heavy. All right, guys, I'm out. Great trade. Were you guys able to catch that? It went from 413 to nice, Michael. That was a great trade. Solid patience there. Very tight stop. I mean, we were able to like sit in that. We pretty much caught like a very tight risk. It's okay. It's okay, Noah. That was a great trade. So, man, great example. Really just having to be patient. But as you guys can see, this was the real trade. This is why I like only trading off my key levels. But I said, okay, if this sets up, that's a lower low. We drew that out on the dot. That was a dot. But this was the real trade. But I couldn't take that with SPY and Qs rallying to the upside. And you can see Tesla was actually holding up with the overall market. So we were able to catch a continuation entry to the downside here, 413 to 411. That's not bad. But this was the real trade, right? 415.40 on the dot, all the way down to 411.76. So I hope that makes sense there. But the play that we took here was just a continuation. It was just that. I maybe scaled my first third a little early, but I still capitalized pretty big on this trade. So it was a solid trade. And we were very conservative, right? I don't ever really want to touch zero DTEs on Tesla. Okay. I see what you mean, Michael. On the early big push, I don't think you could really go wrong into doing that because I did as well. If you're talking about this big push, then I did too, right? Because we could see a little. Yeah, okay, cool. I did too. I got a little bit of a bounce here, but when I was looking at my cons, so if my cons weren't up a little bit, I would have held. But once I saw my contract actually move up, like I think I saw 4% for mines, that's when I did. Because doing that, this is not really to capitalize. This is just to, if we get stopped out, it's a break even or a very small winner or a loss or very, very small loss. And then, of course, right, we're still exposed enough to get some continuation here. So it was a really, really good trade. And then just how we bar by bar this, right, waiting for these momentum pushes, that's super solid. And then, right, that's why we don't get greedy because as you can see, we ended up pulling back. So really good trade there, right? Today was like a good rep. Yeah, solid day. Just good way to pretty much be patient and be able to pivot. We were looking at Amazon, we were looking at Palantir, we were looking at Nvidia, and then I have my alert set here for Tesla. Um, I really wanted to short off of 415. This was like a great confirmation for me. But then we pulled back and we held this previous day low. So I'm like, okay, if we get over this, we're pretty much making a higher high. Or now we're starting to trend. But that was just beautiful. We just drew that out on the dot. So good day today. Hopefully the Michael, does scaling out that way help? I feel like it definitely helps you able to hold your trades longer, trail your position, and still be exposed to capitalize. So hopefully selling by the third makes it a little easier. I don't know how that felt for you. Let's see. Yes, it's good. I just need to watch my contract prices. Yeah, 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 for sure. So that's actually what I was doing. On this first, once we started to reject, I was only up 0.55%, not even 1%. So I was like, nah, I'm just gonna hold this and accept the risk. And then once I saw this flush and then my contract started to move well, then I sold my first third. And I was like, okay, cool. Now I can sit in this trade because even if I get stopped out, it doesn't matter, right? But if this goes in my favor, and you can see we actually got some very nice momentum pushes here on both of these. So yeah, next time, one day could you do a lesson on how you have the back end of your app? Absolutely. Let me see. I'll try and do a recording session for you today, just so you don't have to wait for that. Right. So I'll get that. I'll do that for you today. I'll just show you my whole active trader setup, and then I'll send that in the lessons tab. So I'll do that today. Don't worry about that. I got you. Let's see. Other than that, I think that is it. Yeah, good trade here. No rush. I've seen so many setups, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Absolutely. For me, my setup's like very, very simple. Right. Simplicity is key. So I'll definitely just show you what mines look like, and then go from there. But yeah, very happy with this setup, with this trade. Not even really necessarily the trade itself, just how we trailed the position. Right, I wanted to see this thing move lower. We started to move lower when Q's and SPY rejected the high day, and as you can see, pretty much just ended up bouncing at this lower day. Well, not the lower day, but we ended up bouncing here. So hope this helps. Today was a good trade, a good day. We were very, very patient today, very patient. We didn't rush into anything. Michael, you're reading the market very well because you saw Amazon the same way I did, right? Market was moving higher. I was like, yeah, it's not worth the risk. It's definitely not. So let's see. Going into, we'll see what happens today. Like I said, coming into today, the one thing I don't like, to each your own, is this. I did not want us to bounce. I really didn't. Like I said, we can't be surprised we bounce. History likes to repeat itself. We've been holding this very well. Every time we pull back to 594.90, we end up bouncing and just pushing higher. So, and then you can see our weekly level here as well, the same thing. So the reason I didn't want us to bounce is because now we're just back going into this madness. I really wanted us to stay heavy, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens. We do have FOMC minutes at 11 a.m. I doubt that's going to make us tank, but very, very strong day. Coming into, yeah, the last 3 days, it's just been a recovery bounce, right? This was Friday, this was yesterday, Tuesday, and then this was today. So just a recovery bounce, and then we finally got that momentum to the upside today. So I'm not really surprised here. And then let's look at SPY before we wrap things up. SPY, yeah, SPY is just strong, dude. We kind of figured SPY would bounce after it pulled back here to 265. Like we kind of figured SPY would bounce here. Look at the bottom, 1217. That was really the last time we had a bit of a peak and fell. So we know our key level here that's really holding SPY up is this 675, 65. And now, I mean, SPY is so strong. Who knows, man? We might be back up here within a day or two. It is a short week, so I don't know. We'll see what FOMC minutes does, but yeah, solid day today. Good way to be patient. I hope this trade makes sense, guys. Right? Even though like the trade we took is still based off the thesis and analysis off our 415.40. We just used the previous day high as a continuation. Right? We got the rejection. The market context wasn't there. So we just waited for a lower low to form, which is confirmation, and that's exactly what happened. Lower low, and we got a flush. So that was a really good trade there on Tesla. I'll break that down a little later. So good day today. Good way to be patient. I will break down this trade, have the pre-market plan out for you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow.